Good on cameras, Liam? Perfect. All right, Coach.
All right. Yeah, it was a tough game for us. We just, one-on-one defense, I thought we didn't do a great job, but it wasn't even, it was the one-on-one defense, but, when you play a team like North Florida, the first seven seconds are, really important. That's transition. If you think about some of the shots they made in the first 7-8 seconds, and then you had a middle of the possession, then you had the end of the possession, and that's the last 7 seconds. And the last 7 seconds, especially in the second half, we didn't do a good job of rebounding the ball, and that led to them getting putbacks and things of that nature. It's a weird game, from the standpoint of, we scored the ball, but we just couldn't stop them at all. And we got to go back to the drawing board. I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed by any means. It's still early. We just got some things that we need to address. And, the physicality of the game, that I was a little disappointed in that part, but we can address those things as well. But, it's early, and I'm not by any means I'm bent out of shape by losing. I'm mad about losing, but we'll get past this, and we got to get ready for the next game.
Going into the game, did you feel if it was a high-scoring game that would be beneficial to them?
I didn't. I would not had thought that this was going to be the name of the game. So I didn't even think about it. If you would have told me the final score would be 105-93, I just wouldn't have thought that. So I didn't think about that going into the game. I just thought about more so threes beat you, twos don't. And, if you, figuratively speaking, if you look at them, they took 31 threes, they made 9. I'm not a great mathematician, but I think that might be either 30% or just a little under 30, and that's what you actually shoot for. But the problem is, I thought, and I have to watch the film because I haven't watched it, obviously. The second chance points in 2 windows of that game hurt us. I thought beginning of the second half we went up, and then we missed a couple layups, and then they came back, and I thought that window hurt us. And then the first half we had another window. But I think that those were the things that hurt the most. So I didn't really think about it being a shootout, anything of that nature. So we have to be better and take more pride in, guarding, one-on-one, that is. And I think that's something that we got to do moving forward.
It seemed like you guys were getting some stops, but then would miss buckets on the other end and not get the offensive rebound. And a lot of missed shots around the run by. Had a little bit of a rough game with that. Kind of how do you overcome those moments where the offense is just kind of stagnating and then it kind of snowballs on you like that?
Well, you gotta have amnesia, and I think that we didn't have that. We had some missed shot hangover, and we didn't get back. And especially there was a window in the second half where we had made a run, then we missed some layups, and boom, they came down and picked us apart. And we got to be better from that. Winning is hard. This group hasn't won together, and it's not a lot of season, obviously, but you have to go through some things. And for me, I just don't ever want to see our guys fracture collectively, and waver within what they feel about one another. See that, because if that happens, then that's a reflection on me. We can clean up, the missed shot hangover, but what you can't clean up is, fracturing, amongst each other, the arguing and things of that nature. And, we had our opportunities, so we didn't do that. We made runs and did things of that nature. We just obviously couldn't close. But, again, we'll get better from that. We just can't have that if we're going to have a successful year, though.
Update on Jaden and Darian, why they weren't able to play today?
A Darian hamstring and Jaden, he's out. He got hurt his thumb in practice, so he's gonna be held out, I think, for about another week, maybe. Doesn't need any surgeries or nothing, but that's why they were both in street clothes.
Luke mentioned after the game that until the team starts enjoying getting stops, they're not going to be a better team. I mean, what's your take on that?
That's good to hear. The one thing about it, I think that, he knows what it looks like, and that's why he's here. And so, obviously, for tonight, he's right, obviously. But we'll get better. I'm happy that him and the locker room are taking onus for it, but we still got to get better at it. There has to be a commitment. And you have to have a presentation. You got to be down in the stance. And you got to anticipate what's next if you're off the ball. And that's just the game of basketball. That's how it is. And we'll get better. We'll keep building. We're building habits, and we're not going to stop. We're going to do that every single day. We got to build good habits, and we'll get to that point.
Yeah, Kelly, go for it.
You talked about wanting to improve the defense, and obviously that tonight was not the best example of that. Just kind of what are you seeing in terms of the strides there? And obviously setback today, I imagine you're looking ahead to Tuesday to see how they respond to all of this too, because there are games sometimes we're in the NBA where it just gets away from you for whatever reason. Seeing them flush that and move on to the next game.
Well, I mean, you got to flush it. I mean, we got to look at it. We got to figure it out. But I'm not. Without seeming like this game is not going to have an impact on what we do, would be lying. But I can't get bent out of shape and just start changing everything up that we've been doing up to this point based on one game. I'm not panicking. We lost. We accept that, and we got to get better. We have a lot more opportunities early on to get this game back, and so we just got to go in. We got to watch film. We got to get better. That, to me, is the biggest thing. Our defense was not up to par tonight. Collectively, man, we got to be better. We got to take more pride in doing that. Sometimes it's just you against your man, and you have to be better. So we'll address it. We'll watch film. We'll get better. But I'm not gonna get bent out of shape. We did give up 105 points, and I would never say that I'm happy about that. But I'm also not going not think that we can correct it in that locker room. We got a mature team. We got an older group. I think we'll be better coming out on Tuesday.
Did their zone throw a bit of a curveball, or was that potentially anticipated from their first couple games, or no?
Nah, it didn't. The more the disappointment with the zone is we act like we hadn't seen it before. It's something that we work on. We've seen it in a couple of the scrimmages that we played. And so that was just more so disappointing to me. It made us stagnant. We settled for long shots. I thought that was the problem. And that again, we have a collective maturity in the locker room, but we need a collective basketball maturity, because when you're down and you get down double figures, you have to, especially in the zone, we could have did a lot of attacking. and getting to the rim, maybe getting fouled, creating opportunities, stopping the clock, but we have to get better at that. I thought early in the second half when we scored, I think 2 quick buckets, they went to the zone, and then what we needed to do is we would have made a couple layups. I think it could have changed the complexion of the game, but that's neither here nor there because it's not about the missed layups. It's more about, how are we going to get to the next play, let that next play go, and keep moving forward. And I thought that's what we didn't do that great of a job on this afternoon.
Close this out, Rod.
They were really active on the boards especially in the second half. Is the option of having Bai and Dio on the floor something moving forward, or is it a little too early for Dio's career to do something like that?
No, we are always going. The only reason we don't consistently do that is because it's challenging when you put 2 bigs on the floor and you're playing against a 3-point shooting team, and so you have to play To me, you play the percentages. I thought Luke played well. I didn't think that was the issue. Luke had 8 rebounds. I just think playing 2 bigs when they only essentially had one that played like a 5-man. It makes it a little difficult to leave 2 bigs on the floor when you're trying to do a lot of switching and things of that nature. But yeah, there's obviously a world where as the season moves on, Dio and Bai play together. Ryan will play more, but right now some of the matchups is not for them on an everyday basis. In non-conference. All right. Yep.